Okay, I had somebody give me a little bit of crap because I route the back of my necks. They're like, well, you don't do them by hand. Nothing could be further from the truth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little insight into my process. I do take a round over bit and pre-radius the back of the neck. Part of glue up. But once I've got it fingerboard on and the heels on, it still requires a lot of shaping because the router doesn't hit certain spots and it leaves basically a D shape. It's round here but flat there. So there's a whole lot of shaping that goes into it. And I've got a method because I do a lot of these, so it's kind of like a flow. I always start with the scarf joint in and I start working it down. By the way, I'm like a file fanatic. Every time I see a file, I almost have to buy it. But there's one thing that I can swear by, and that's these rasps right here. Dragon Rasp from StewMac. This is the small one. They make a bigger one that I haven't bought yet, but I think I'm going to. This is a great rasp because you can be really aggressive and take a lot of material out, or you can be light with it and remove a small amount. But again, anyway, so I start with the headstock in by the scarf joint. And I bring it down little by little. And I can't tell you that there's a certain method to how much or how far to go. I think every neck has its voice. And I think after a while, after you've done a certain amount of them, you just kind of have a feel for it. And as far as when I'm rasping it down, I just there's just a feel to it, a flow. I may hit this spot along in here where I pre-radiused it once, but before I'm done, I'll probably go over it 10 times. Because as I work up the neck, it changes. It's kind of a living thing. And before I'm done, I bring it all together. I work it in smaller pieces at first, but I keep going back. As mentioned, I start at the headstock end and I work my way down to the heel. Now the heel requires quite a bit. I mean, it's square right now with an angle cut on it, but it will be almost a pointed heel when I'm done. Hopefully I've got all this on camera where you can see it. Best I can tell you is, you just got to start working your way around. Again, it's a feel that I think you develop after you've done, in my case, thousands. But whether it's your 4,000th neck or your 3rd neck, feel what that wood wants to give up. You'll know how far you can push it, and you'll know if you've gone too far. And trust me, if you do as much with a rasp as I do, this is my 6th neck so far this afternoon I've done this with. Gloves like this save your hands. I used to get really, really, really nasty blisters from the rasp, and I thought, well, hey, why not save my skin? And don't forget, your rasp has a half round side and a flat side. Use those to your advantage. Like there's spots right up here in the heel where the flat doesn't quite get in there. You can run it across it, because Lord knows I do. But sometimes for a smaller stroke and a little bit more control, this little bitty pointed in here, it works this corner really nice. And again, I mentioned I keep going back. As I get the neck to where I want it to be, the touch gets a little bit lighter, and the strokes will get longer so I don't end up with little flat spots. There, half of it done. So now we come back up to the scarf joint end. Start working this side. That I'm working to a preset radius or anything like that. My roundover bit that I start with is a 5/8 radius, which gets it close, but not where I want it. When it's done, it'll be nice and round. It'll be I guess in Fender terms, or maybe in Gibson, I don't know who you subscribe to, but a C shape when I'm done. As far as shaping it so that it's round, I'm sure you can't see it on the video, but you develop little lines from the rasp. I'm not talking about the teeth marks, but where you literally flatten the neck out a touch. And I watch that. As I get closer to where I want to be, that disappears. Guys like to use spoke shaves, but I don't care for them. I've tried it, and the thing that I've found with the spoke shaves is you got to be real careful to not, like, it's hard to see, but the way the grain is on this maple, if you bite in too hard with a spoke shave, just like a run in a nylon hose, it'll lift that grain up and it'll keep going. You know, some people say, well, you got to have them sharp. Well, that's true. I get that. I don't ever have to sharpen my rasp. So the fellow that says that I don't really shape my necks and I'm not a craftsman, well, I bet you that I spend more time with the rasp than most guys do just easing the edge of their 1x2s. The 1x2s are alright, but if you're going to play a guitar all night, it ought to be comfortable in your hand. And that's what I strive for. Make this neck like butter in your hand. Okay, there's 90% of my shaping. My next step is a disc sander with 80 grit. And what I can do here is I can get out all of the little teeth marks from my rasp, but I can continually radius this as well, which I'll show you. there you have it. Now you notice as I worked the back of the neck, I just kept it rolling. If you stop in one spot with 80 grit, you got a flat spot. But I keep rolling it, keep moving it all over, and it just makes it nice and smooth, nice and round. Now I will continue with this. I'll take it to 100, 120, 150, 220, 320, and depending on how the grain looks at that point, I'll take them as high as 1,000 sometimes. And it'll be like glass. You practically don't need a finish on them when I'm done. But anyway, there's a glimpse into how I shape the necks. It seems like a laborious process, but that really didn't take that long. And it's going to feel good in your hand when it's done. And it's strong. This maple is just stronger than anything. So there you go. Little insight.